Hey, yo, everybody. Hi, Kelly. Hey, Bella.
I
Oh,
need everyone
it's
to know that I'm not wearing lipstick. I just ate spicy food and I'm very white.
best limp
So
plumper
my lips
ever.
are like, ah! It was very delicious though.
Hey, RP. I am post-convention Sam, which means my voice is like this. I sound husky. It's fine.
Husky. You can
Husky.
like pretend it's sultry.
Yeah. The only time I sound sultry. First thing in the morning after a convention. I hope everybody else had a good weekend. Where I'm in the party banners. Hold on. There we go. So
I
yeah.
wrote 15 pages of my script yesterday. So
Oh, congrats. Very
yeah,
proud of you.
thank you.
We have less light right now because my light can't be plugged in because they took my I've got this thing that lets me plug in like 5 or 6
Power
USB
strip.
cords into it. No, it's not a power strip. It's like a power strip, but specifically for
Ah,
USB
yeah, I have
devices
one of
and
those.
stuff. Yeah. And so I took it with me because hotel rooms notoriously have 1,000 outlets or two.
Yeah.
There is no in between. And I needed to charge my phone, my square reader, and my power brick. So Artemis is parked like right in front of you, so whenever her head goes up, I can't see you anymore.
That's
She
probably for the best.
right that way.
Storm was hanging out before stream, but she has now decided to sit next to her food dish and stare at me. So I wonder if she wants something.
Have you fed her today?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
just not her second meal of the day.
Ah, but yeah, I had a really good time at the convention, and
Woo.
today Chris took today off because notoriously after convention weekends he is very lonely, and so we take Mondays to spend time together.
Oh,
Thank you, thank you.
I
And
spent the day
he wait,
alone.
I'm sorry, you spent it
The
alone.
only
I was on
interaction I got
Godzilla
today was
versus
my tennis class. Yeah, because no one joined my work until I was there all day, and no one
well,
wanted.
you know what? I was on a date and then I passed out
That's
because I had a migraine.
fine, I guess. I wrote like 2,000 words. So I guess that's good. Wait, no, I talked to my dad today. I called my dad and started telling him about my
Oh,
script.
see,
He's
there you
like, I
go.
love you. This is so interesting. Like, we're on the call for a while, but eventually he's like, I'm not getting enough work done because he's working on the house we moved out of because we're
Ah,
doing like all the work on it and then gonna sell it. So he's
very
like,
nice.
my work level is very low as I am chatting with you because I was like reading him like excerpts from this like old book I have on Fae, and we were like debating what like species I should make a villain, and he was like, "Yeah, I need to hang up," and I was like, "Yeah, that's fair. I should probably go back to writing." But it's fine. It
Glad
was
I
fun.
that worked
So I
out.
did. I interacted with like 3 people today before this. Ta-da! I also took off
Very
my nails. I'm kind of sad about it, but one
I'm
popped
sorry.
off during tennis today, and I think the guy I was like playing with who like hit the ball, and then I went to catch it with my hand because we were just like lobbing it back and forth, and it knocked off my nail. He was like, and I was like, "It's my fake nail," and he's like, "Oh."
He's like, oh no, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to knock off
And
your
I
nail.
go, "Oh, my nail," and he's like, and I'm like, "No, fake nail, fell off. It's cool, no pain."
That reminds me of the videos when like boyfriends see their girlfriends take off their eyelashes for the first time and they're like, you could do
Yeah,
it.
it's so funny.
Weekend was actually pretty good, though there was the usual craziness that happens when the family gets together for the holidays. Oh yes, happy Easter to everyone who
Oh,
celebrated this
yeah,
week.
forgot that
My
happened.
family will be celebrating this weekend because my grandparents will be back from Louisiana, and I work Easter weekend every year. So sat and relaxed, and also started running again after the race I did last weekend.
Nice. Did you win? I'm guessing you're doing like one of those races that were like a lot of people, but still, did you win? Um,
Let's get your
I
breath out.
decided to make him. One second. I can't pronounce it, guys. All right.
Send me the word again. Hello, Jessica.
2 different spellings to it.
Yeah, send me all the spellings. All of them.
Okay. I can't send you all of them. It's like a lot of spellings. So that's one. This is one. And that's about it.
I would hesitate
Irish.
to say that. Yeah, I know. The Federig. Darish.
I have a little scene where I have my main character go, "Oh yeah, the bad guy or whatever," and her love interest go, saying the name properly, and her go, "Yeah, so the fur dude." She's like, "I'm not."
I keep wanting to say it French, but that is not how you would say it.
Yeah.
Jessica's weekend was busy. She pushed a bit too much, but it was good enough for a family gathering. Well, I'm glad you still had fun. I'm sad I had to ship my cats across country to my friend. I'm moving out west and sent him ahead of me. Now the apartment is very quiet without them. Aww. But I'm glad he has somewhere to stay while you're getting
your
ready.
cat away, like permanently, like they wouldn't have your cat anymore. And I'm like, that is awful. I'm not gonna have my cat next semester, because I can't take Storm to LA, or I probably could, but that's probably not great to have her fly if she like can't handle the
RP did not win, and yes, it was a large race with 2,500 people.
Yeah, you'll get him next time.
The next couple of plan will be way bigger. Fair enough. Like I, as one who cannot run very far without getting a stitch in my side.
Oh my god! In tennis today, we did this like drop thing where you like you like basically like barely lob it over the net. And so you like for your partner, you would toss it like barely over the net, and then they would have to start like the midline, run forward, hit it, just like tap it back over the net, and then backpedal back to the midline. The front of my thighs, I was dying. I felt so out of shape. It was like kind of humiliating, but I wasn't like internally. But I was putting on the act of my life. I was like, this doesn't bother me. Like I'm doing so good. But internally, I was like, oh my god.
When we were unloading the van on Thursday, I looked at both my employees and I was like, okay, so technically you two are here primarily to be my muscle, and I have chronic migraines, chronic fatigue, and I'm chronically Southern. So I will overdo it. If you see me start to like breathing heavy or something, feel free to, just smack my hand and be like, look here, woman, let me do it.
Look here, woman.
One of the guys at some point, he was like, okay, we've been unloading stuff into Jen's booth. I was just coming over here to make sure you weren't overdoing it, putting the grid wall up. And I'm like, no, I'm going one at a time. It's fine. Thank you for checking on me. But yeah, and he was great as my muscle all weekend. I'd be like, I need my berserk restocked. But we had our berserk restock like organized under the table and stuff to make it easier on him.
Yeah.
So it was great.
Did you end up being able to see the voice?
No, I did not.
You didn't leave the booth.
There was this very nice customer though who like he came and he got a Yu Yu Hakusho manga to have Justin Cook autograph, and then I was like, man, I'm so sad that I can't like see him or get an autograph. He's like, well, if you want, I can get you one. Then bring it back. I was like, that's so sweet, but I'm like, no, it's fine, it's okay.
So sweet. Oh my god, I was at work on Friday and this guy was like trying to test my anime knowledge, but like was doing like these really fucking low blow. He was like, I don't know, he was like judging what shows I like, and he was like, oh, you're a writer? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, have you written anything? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, really, can I read it? And I was like, sure. And so I just pull up the script that I wrote last class, and he's like, what is this? And I'm like, it's a fantasy TV show Western on the art style of anime. And he's like, all right, but I said, but it's not an anime. It depends on your definition. And he's like, what do you mean it's not an anime? And I'm like, I'm not Japanese. And it was such a hostile conversation. And then he was like, oh, so you watch anime? And I was like, yeah. And then he was like, what's your favorite anime? And I was like, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. And he's like, have you seen both of them? And I'm like, yeah, I have. I'm like, what is this? Like, I'm like, are we gonna start like throwing hands? Because I'm like this close.
I'm just offended you didn't say Yu Yu Hakusho, but it's fine.
But then he was like, have you seen Hunter x Hunter? And I was like, yeah. Do you know what Yu Yu Hakusho is? And he goes, yeah. And I go, right, I'm rewatching. He's like, have you seen it? And I was like, I'm rewatching it right now. And then he was like, have you seen a live action? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, I haven't finished it. And I'm like, ha! I won!
I heard some customers talking about the live action. Like, as they walked around the booth, one of the guys go, oh, have you seen the live action of it? And he's like, oh, yeah. Or, no, he's like, no, I haven't seen it yet. Is it good? And he's like, oh, it depends on the episode. The Hiei Bui fight, though, they did that justice. And I was
I'm in the dark.
This is a fair opinion.
In my rewatch right now, and they're right about to go toe-to-toe with Team Toguro.
Hold on. So the things, I work for Anime Pavilion, which Anime Pavilion does have a website and an eBay store, and he sells like full sets and stuff on eBay. So if you go to Anime Pavilion, Anime Pavilion at eBay, the set's 20% off. I would give it a couple days though, because he's got to like delist some things that he sold at 4 conventions. But yeah, definitely there. If you email manager@animepavilion.com, you get free like shipping on Berserks and stuff. They're 20% off. 50 goes to 40. I know all the shit. But yeah, so we sell like art books, individual manga sets, not just the official licensed box sets, but like we also will take a bunch of the singles and he plastic wraps them to like make sets of manga. Like it's the official licensed manga. It's just a homemade set basically. So we've started selling the demonic cultivation people's stuff because like which I told my mom, I was like, as soon as it has an official printing in the US, my boss will have it, I promise you. And he did.
Oh my god, can I like so MXTX just announced that they're like setting aside their current project because like issues with censorship and stuff like that, and they couldn't take in the direction they want to. And I'm like, oh, my heart. But she's still writing. She's like, don't worry, guys, I'm gonna still keep writing. I'm like, thank God. It's so weird having an author that's still alive, and like having an author that's like actually putting out stuff regularly that's not Rick Riordan.
But, we also sell art books, food stuff now. I got to sell food stuff. I've got some fun stories about that. And card stock, a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh, Digimon. Disney's got a card game now called Lorcana. Just it's a lot of stuff. So
yeah, it sounds like it.
I had the small because he was at like 4 different conventions this weekend, and my convention's technically the smallest, so I had the small stock, which I'm totally fine with because basically this means that due to my efficiency of running my booth, I got all of our stock out, and then we didn't really have to restock anything but my table.
How did the MXTX stuff sell?
I sold out. I only had like 3 sets, and I sold them all. So, CB, why didn't you just tell them to fuck off? Because sometimes it's more satisfying to crush their ego.
We work together like every week. And we have this like banter that's like on the edge of like, are you trying to bully me? Am I being bullied or are we bantering? Like, how much malice is in this like making fun of each other? Because he was like commenting on my hair, and I'm touchy about my hair, but he doesn't know that. And it's like in a braid, and he was like, "Look, you have no hair. You're practically a boy." And I'm like, "Bitch, do you not understand how braids work?" And he's like, "It's so short," and I'm like, "What?" But it's fine. I don't think I'm being bullied.
Just crush his ego.
He's British too, so I'm like, is this British humor? I don't know.
Ego too.
He's very blunt, but then I'll be blunt back, and I'm like, I think this is chill, but I don't know if I'm hurting his feelings by making fun of him. But he's making fun of me too, so either we're bullying each other or it's friendly banter. I don't really know. So that's why I didn't tell him to fuck. Well, I did tell him to fuck off, but like in a fuck you way, and not actually fuck off. like with
Yeah.
intention. Oh look, that's
Tell
my
the
face.
people who you are real quick.
My hair
Yeah, I
almost
had to go
matches.
find you. Almost.
Hello. I am CB Ferrenz, screenwriting major and nope, queer fantasy author and screenwriting major. There we go. I'm like, I did something wrong. My socials are down below. On my channel, I currently switch off every Wednesday with Sam hosting Whip Wednesday. We work on our current whips, our works in progress. Currently, I am working on a queer dragon novel and a queer sapphic fae movie. This week we will be on Sam's channel, and you guys should join us to get some stuff done. It's on Wednesdays from 2 to 5 Eastern Standard Time. Yeah. Ta-da!
And I am somebody. Yeah, that's me. I am Samantha L. Nassett. That is definitely how I feel right now. And I write.
Not the first half of your title.
What?
Writing mom.
Oh, I'm writing mom, Samantha L. Nassett. I'm post-con Sam. And on my channel, I talk about writer things, parent things, and writer-parent things. I'm a connoisseur of all things fantasy, romance, and also horror, though I don't claim that one as often as fantasy and romance. I'm hosting write-ins all through April, all through April. On Mondays, on Wednesdays, back and forth between me and CB is our writing Wednesdays. On Thursdays, I'm starting Sam's writing work shift. Same time as my Whip Wednesdays from 1 to 4 p.m. Yes. You can stay up to date, catch me at all the places if you join the realm at my Coffee Cookie Ko-Fi down below for $1. We do a lot of things in there. We do work and chills. You could join and keep CB company on days I have dates.
Ta-da! You should.
You should. She needs to do things.
I do. I need that body doubling to get work done.
As do I. That's why you and I work well together, but not so much when our plans don't align.
No. I'm really surprised I got so much done today with like
I am very proud of
devices. Having the sprint timers does help because it's kind of a competition. First like how many words can I like cram out in this 45 minutes?
Yeah, that's why me and Mimi do it even when we're by ourselves.
I got 1,060 today. That was my high score in 45
I like doing it when I'm reading too, especially since like I'm a slow reader, but apparently I've gotten faster in the past few years, which is awesome. Yeah. So, but instead of doing words for the sprint, I'll do page count, right? Mm-hmm. And then Sprinto tells me how many pages I've read in 30 minutes. And I'm like, oh, that's more than I thought. So I love it. Oh, Bella found a style of chibi that she can draw and she loves it. She only did Hinata Shoujo, but it's so much fun. We'll see how long this hobby lasts. I was so sad I couldn't go to the artist alley, but it's okay. I love going to the artist alley when I go to conventions. Yeah.
I think that was about
human cultivation. Yeah.
Grandmaster
Sam, when you first said small, like from small stock, you cut off the word small, and I legit thought you said smut. I mean that too. Let me tell you, some of the titles of the manga that we sell are as follows. I forgot the person's name, but somebody Chan is interested in lesbian brothels. Breasts are some of my favorite things in the world.
Fair.
There's also one, this isn't smutty, this is just a really funny title. It's the fate of the world depends on the bean counter. Which I realized my sisters actually read that one. And first, like, it's a boy, it's a BL, and one of the, I want to say an ML, because they's men's, not boys. But either way, 'tis gay. And the one guy, if I remember correctly, is the other guy's, like, bodyguard. And the guy with the bodyguard has to count beans. But I don't remember why, but like the world will be destroyed if he doesn't count them or something. It's wild. There's also a exercise hentai set that we saw. So
Is that the one you sent me a picture of? No, that was something you got on like one of your apps. There was a lot of
that was a different one. That was
So
y'all, my Manta was all like, Sam, we think you'd like this one. And it's just this picture and this guy's holding this other guy from behind, like clutching him. And it's this exercise one. And I'm like, Manta, I have not read, or not Manta, Tappy Toon. I'm like, Tappy Toon, I have read no smut on you.
I feel like Tappy Toon is definitely like riskier than Manta, because Manta's all censored. Like,
so is Tappy Toon for the most part.
But I feel like Tappy Toon's like, we're going to censor this like sliver of the screen, where Manta is like, oh, we're not including that like entire little part of the comic.
Oh, then I haven't run into the riskier Tappy Toons yet. But I wouldn't. I'm just saying I haven't. But because we do sell more than like smut's a small portion of what we sell, because we also sell Pokemon.
I lost like the majority of my embarrassment about admitting to reading whatever when I submitted a paper to Carl Sagan's son on the Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation. He's like, wow, this sounds really interesting. And I'm like, it is, you should read it. I don't know if he did.
We had this one customer come up, right? And he bought he was interested in our 35th anniversary Akira box set. Okay. It's like it's $220, goes to $180 now. I think it used to be $200, but it went up in price. But yeah, either way, it's this really cool collector's edition box, right? It comes with like the manga in it. It had been reprinted in hardcover, and it's got like the original artist sound effects in it. And there's posters, and there's a bunch of shit in there, right? Well, he's looking at the box. He's like, I'm a big Akira fan. And I go over and I start doing the spiel, because I'm like, I know this box. I can sell this motherfucker, right? It's my pride and joy selling these Akira boxes. And, he's like, let me just go talk to my mom. And I'm like, okay, cool. He went, he talked to her, he came back, he got it. He came back the next day, and he's like, looking around, we're talking about stuff. I thought this boy was in his mid-20s, right? He just turned 18 recently.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, you do not look your age. It's a good thing I don't got ID, people. So they were talking about it, and we're talking about the titles of some of them, right? And he like saw the title of one of them, and I like laughed, and I was like, yeah, I'm like, we got one over there that's called something like Breast or Some of My Favorite Things. And he kind of looks a little embarrassed and stuff, and then he goes, well, I did turn 18 recently. I could look at some boobs. Like, he did not.
That's so cute. That's so cute, though.
Oh, you precious
little you can go get yourself some boob books. You're a big boy now.
I was drinking. But yeah, that's part of the reason I like working conventions, because it's just like
the only convention I've ever been to.
Hold on real quick. There's this dad and son pair, right? I recognize them. They've been coming to MTAC for a good many years, and they like buy things from us every year. And the dad, he's this this is the best way I can describe him. Like, he's this older Scottish looking dad, right?
Okay,
like,
yeah.
Very obviously American and everything, but he's just like, he's got this like really happy demeanor and that old white Scotsman beard hair thing.
Yeah.
And his son he's gotta be in his 30s, because like he has always looked in my
up with the 18-year-old.
Hold on. No, because like I said, they've been coming to NTAC for a good, and he and I have always looked in the same age group. So I'm pretty sure he and I are the same age. But like every year is the same thing, right? He goes around, he picks out his books and stuff, and then he, comes out, he goes to check out, and then his dad gives me his card. And then he looks at his dad and he goes, "Are you sure?" And he's like, "I have always told you since you're a kid, I'll always buy you books." He's like, there are worse habits than reading to have. So he's like, "I'll always buy your books, son." And it's just the cutest thing. I'm gonna crop
this part of the stream and just send it to my parents and be like,
But yeah, part of my favorite thing is that his son very obviously always intends to pay for it himself,
Yeah.
and then the dad just without a word always hands me the card, and I'm like,
I got this.
I also had this couple, right? They like came over and they were they were buying cards. I forget.
Okay.
I think it was Yu-Gi-Oh. They were buying some Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Either way, the point is he goes to hand me his card and the girlfriend's like, no, mine. And he's like, no. And so they start fighting. I just put the square reader down and I'm like, whoever wins the duel.
I'm gonna.
And she paid, but it was great. And then another, it was an engaged couple, right?
Okay.
She's looking at, it's this a certain magical girl index, Old Testament edition, right? This is like 200. I think it's 200. Either way, it's this huge. Everybody, you should Google this motherfucker, right? Because it's like this fucking big, and it is heavy, and it's white, and it looks like one of those really fancy old Bibles.
Yeah.
And but it's the light novel, and it's got like these green jewels on it and stuff. It is gorgeous.
Okay.
And she's like, she's like, okay. She's like, I really want it. I think I'm gonna get it, right? And her boyfriend's just like, how much is it? And I told him, and then I told him the sale price, and he's like, all right, we'll get it. And she's like, are you sure? She starts crying.
Oh,
She's
no!
so happy, and her friend is like, that's why you're marrying him. And I was like, this is what I like to see. So
It's so cute. Tim, I want to go to a convention. The only one I've ever been to is fuck. Nope, it's gone. I forgot the name of it. It's like the giant D&D convention. It's in Indianapolis. I can't think of it.
He should have got some boot books.
Gen Con.
Oh.
Gen Con. That's the only one I've ever been to. And that's when I was a 5th grader. So, I don't really remember. I'll
take you to one at some point this year. Breasts are some of my favorite things too. I agree with CB. He should have got some. Yeah. Well, to be fair, he didn't actually seem all that interested in the book. I think he was just trying to have cute banter, but it's just his whole thing was cute.
That is cute.
But yeah. My brain just died. But it's fine because it's about time to go into our first sprint.
Do you want to say what we're working on?
Oh yeah, people, tell me what you're working on. I first have to organize some notes for my boss and resend them to him for convention things. So that's what I will be doing first, and then after that, I will probably. I've got a bunch of things I need to catch up on, so I won't be working on writing things at least this sprint.
I probably gonna work on my scripts some more, and I'll see how much energy I have left in the tank because I have literally been spending my entire afternoon working on the script, which has been going really well. It's just it's bedtime. It's not bedtime, but the sun has gone down.
You're good. You worked a lot today.
Yeah, so. I have homework to do, like a pressing homework thing, but I have time tomorrow to do it before class. So I don't really want to do it.
Okay. So Kelly will be on her current horror short. So
that's good.
Okay. We'll count us down so we can go into our first sprint.
3, 2, 1, go.
And we're back. You are still muted.
I know, I wasn't even talking out loud. I was talking to Storm.
Oh, okay.
It's not about you, Sam. It's about Storm.
Okay. I think that
We have
one's
10 people now. Hi, 10 people.
Give me a second. Let me see what you got in here.
Push, push, push. You're the best girl.
There it is.
You're
Okay, here you go. He mixed up one of mine in his books, so here you go.
So silly. So silly.
This Saturday was library day, so I had take it to daddy. So I had Chris pick up my books for the readathon for April.
Mm-hmm.
But well, the ones I needed anyway. And there was a book called Lost in the Labyrinth or something, and I'm like, that's not one of mine.
No.
And Persuasion was missing, and I was like, sir. So
She's purring very loud. I was gonna say,
how did everybody do that sprint? And I finished sending my boss stuff he needed, and I started organizing my reading list for April.
I read, and that is it. I also fed Miss Girl here. So, I'm really getting stuff done. I looked at it, and I wrote 1996 words.
Nice. Before I forget, I'm trying to place a hold on this. Now, what is the second book in this series called? I might have to look up book 2.
Oh, Storm, this is
of
from
the Verity
there.
City
Gave her a
series.
kiss.
There it is, Our Dark Duet. I don't want to read sample one.
She's purring up a storm. Ha! Get it?
Read chat for me. I really don't want to forget to do this again.
All right. Blah blah blah. Sorry, saying blah blah to your guys' stuff. All right, Jessica gonna eat on this sprint and think I'm just planning right now as I slowly get myself back into things after a month of burnout. Billy goes, also, I was working on a script for a YouTube video. Next sprint, I'll hopefully be working on Alina. Hope I said that right. Is that a book?
Alina is her novel.
Okay. Kelly asked me to give Storm a hug, and I gave a kiss instead. RP was attempting to help his mother connect his computer to their printer, so print D&D stuff. Very fun. And you have not been successful. Not as fun. And you're welcome, Kelly. This is how we're spending this sprint now. For the stream.
We're not sprinting.
I know.
I'm sorry you have not been successful.
She's happy. She loves me. So...
My brain has emptied of all thought. It says post-con Sam can't think anymore. That's fine.
Mine had to, except Kitty go brr.
So I don't know how many of you remember or knew, but I was trying to do this thing with my shot where I would get the needle a month ahead of time, and then it's not working anymore because for some reason insurance is like, yeah, you can't refill it until 30 days after you filled it last time, and I'm like,
oh, is it like a
that doesn't work? That doesn't work because say the 20 say I refill it on the 15th, and the 15th one month is a Saturday, and the pharmacy is closed, that means that I can't fill it till the 17th, which means I can't fill it till the 17th. So, like, that's really not helpful. And so my shot's going to wear off this week, and I can call and fill it in.
That's annoying. I had trouble this week with my ADHD med. I'm sorry. This is not a great position for me, like spine wise. Trouble with my ADHD meds of like the doctor not getting them refilled, and then they have to order them to the pharmacy.
Hold on, small correction. It's the temp title of Bella Swift.
Okay.
Sorry.
And I did say it right. Noise. But I have like 1 dose left. So I'll use it for tomorrow, and hopefully it gets me through class. I have to choose between class and work, I think. I might have 2 doses. I keep like the smaller dose additionally in my backpack if I forget to take it at my apartment. I have like a couple in a bottle in my backpack. So I'll see if I have any stored away in there that I can utilize. I'm not distracted at all.
Not at all.
No.
Excited because our Dark Duet was available, so I went ahead and grabbed it. I need to read some of the other readathon books first, though. So
I got in the mood to reread Aragon the other day because I haven't read it in like a decade, and I really liked it as a kid.
I have all 5 Aragon books on hold. I'm waiting until they're all like I keep putting them off until Murtagh, because that's the new one, and I was like so far down the list for it, so I like kept putting the other 4 off but now it's come up, so I can start grabbing those after I finish some of the March ones.
Yeah, I put a hold on the first one. I just feel like listening to them. I was okay. She's not leaving me. Honestly, I found a crossover fan fiction with Aragon, and I'm like, what is going on? So of course I read it, and I was reading it, and I forgot how fucking I like the series. It was really really liked it as a kid. I forgot the bad guy's name is Galbatorix.
Yeah, Galbatorix.
For some reason, that name is so silly to me. Like, I think it's something about the gal, but literally, I'm reading this fanfic and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm like vibing with it, and then it's like, but like the Dark Lord, not saying Dark Lord, but then but what if Galbatorix? I'm like, what if Gal? Oh, that old Galbatorix.
He would have you decapitated so fast.
I would not be able to isekai into this world. I would die.
They'd kill you so fast.
As someone said, like, oh yeah, our king, and I'm like, what's the king's name again? Galbatorix, and I'd be like, is he a dinosaur? Like, Gal the dinosaur. I don't know why this is so funny to me.
I don't
think this was funny to me as a kid. I was like, yeah, Galbatorix. I like
okay.
I think part of it is the show Gallivant. I'd mentioned recently on a stream, but like
that could be it.
That's like so goofy, and then it's also in like this
ruined the gal
like
for you.
Stan. I think it's the Ga. Like there's not very many names that begin with Ga. RP likes my is he a pet? I mean his name ends in X. Like
know any dinosaurs that start with gal, so that really
Galbatorix sounds like a dinosaur. Me meeting Christopher Paolini one day, being like, big fan. What's your villain's name again? Galbatorix! Or maybe I'm saying it wrong. I just like part of the reason I'm getting the audiobook is I hope to God I'm saying it wrong. Like, please tell me there's like some weird fantasy spelling in there.
So his name's not Galbatorix. I don't know why this is so funny. I think it's the amount of syllables. Also, I don't know.
It's just, no, I'm like looking. See, because like the IX, I believe, is a common suffix for name.
Why is there a B? There's a B in there, but there's also a G. Those are the funniest letters. Like, I will not take any commentary. B's and G's are the funniest letters, but there's also an X. Like, what are you doing? I love it. I love it.
This is by far the most interesting hate on a fantasy name I've ever heard.
I love it.
Nothing.
But I cannot take it seriously.
Unfortunately, I have to hit it. Well, see you later, Kelly.
Kelly agrees with me. That's why she has to leave. I don't know what's so funny to me. At first, I was like, haha, funny name. Oh, wait. That's the villain. I forgot. And
I'll
then
take Galbatorix over nonsensical parentheses or nonsensical apostrophes any day, though.
I mean,
My
there's
dyslexia hates those.
Razak in them as well. That has a random whatever this thing is.
I'm not saying Aragon doesn't do those.
Yeah, no, it's just
I'm saying I hate them.
the Galbot. I don't know. It's just so silly. I think yeah. But the like thought of like 15-year-old Christopher Halliday being like, I need a name for my big bad villain. I want to put like 8 syllables.
I will say to your dinosaur thing, his name's not Galbator Rex, it's Galbatorix.
That's what I've been saying.
Well, dinosaurs aren't Ricks, they're Rex. So
no, but Batorix sounds like it would be a dinosaur. Galbatorix, the great carnivore from 65 million years back. These are my opinions. I'm not wrong. I am right. You may disagree. And
I'm thinking of dinosaur names, and they're all Saurus, not Rex, except the Tyrannosaurus Rex. That's the only Rex.
I know, but it's the vibe.
We will have to agree to disagree.
Yeah, you can be wrong. That's okay.
You're wrong about dinosaurs, bish. I don't care about Galbatorix, but I know my dinos.
It gives the same vibe as a dinosaur's name. If someone was like pointing to a skeleton and be like, "This is the Galbatorix," I'd be like, "Okay."
I wouldn't. I'd be like, "That makes no sense."
I don't know my Latin. RP agrees with me.
I mean, actually, I see where you're coming from, CB. I hate it, but I can see it. I cannot, but that could be because I know far too much about paleontology. So.
I don't. My brother had a dino phase. I did not. I watched Jurassic Park. my older brother had a dino phase. My little brother watched like a dino cartoon where like they could turn into dinosaurs to fight other dinosaurs like they were superheroes. And part of the theme was 65 million years back. And I remember that because I referenced it like 3 seconds ago because it's like ingrained.
Fox has decided to declare war on me and has given Galbatorix this spelling.
Yeah, that's how it reads in my mind. Actually, that's less silly than the actual spelling. And there's
it's more silly because they make no sense. Okay, one of the reasons I hate when apostrophes do this is because linguistically it does not make sense. Mm-hmm. It does not follow. Like when they do it, they don't keep it consistent. There's like it doesn't follow any language rules. Like, it can follow a made-up language rule. I don't give a fuck, as long as there's a consistency to it, so that when I start reading more names and stuff, it starts to make sense. Otherwise, I feel like it's just kind of disrespectful to actual languages that use special symbols.
That is fair.
Because, you know, like Spanish and German and similar languages, like I can't remember the names of any of those symbols, but each of those, like the umlaut, Like each of those symbols, they have a name, they have a purpose, and they have a linguistic direction that tells you how this word should be said or read. In fantasy, when we just start fucking throwing apostrophes and commas everywhere in normally elven names, you're just trying to look all special and weird and shit. No, you better get on fucking Tolkien's level and give me a whole ass language.
I agree with that. I think that's fantastic. I think part of the reason Galbatorix is so funny to me is because it's said, if I'm saying it properly, exactly how it's spelled. There is no silent letters. There is no like conjunctions, not conjunctions. You know what I mean. There's no like THs in there. Like there's no.
I, for one, appreciate this though. As a dyslexic, I appreciate.
Yes. Or, but I want to. It's just, it's what's there is what you get. There's no U's, like QU's. Not in this word.
Nor should there be.
THLs? No. Like IGHTs?
You are thrown off by how modern the spelling of the fantasy name is.
Galbatorix. It's.
You are literally thrown off by how modern the spelling of the fantasy name is.
I mean, yes, I also have been consistently amused by the name Aragon since I was like really little, and I figured out Aragon was just dragon replacing the D with an E.
Yeah.
I just thought that was really funny when I read the book at like 9 or whatever.
I'm ignoring Fox now.
Because I didn't realize till halfway through the book until it was like E got left on one and then it was dash and there was Ragan and I was like dragon and I was like wait no that's Aragon, that's his name, that is the title of the book. Yeah. So anyways, Galbatorix.
I just think that's funny that you're just thrown off by how modern his name is spelled.
Is that it?
I'm pretty sure that's it because like you said this was fine and his name would still be
Galbatorix.
Galbatorix.
You say that. That is actually I that means nothing to my brain. That's
except like the butt in the middle is
but yeah, that's how I read it. G, a bunch of symbols and then butt in the middle. But like
well, you're sitting here and you're like no silent letters, right?
Yeah, there aren't.
Newer words don't really use silent letters. We don't do that anymore. No O's are used or anything. That's an old French thing.
I mean, there's O, I think, but there's not like an OU.
No, I know what you mean. There's no silent O, right? And like, yeah, that's an older French thing that they do in names and stuff that they don't like. Like Devereaux has.
There's no random H's. I feel like there should be a random H in Galbatorix.
Again, an older thing.
Maybe like GHAL, like ghost, like Galbatorix, but with an H.
But you don't need the H.
But I feel like it should be.
You literally don't need the silent letter. They're silent.
I know, but I feel like there should be one. Yeah. Or I'm pronouncing something. Like this cannot be just this dude's name.
No, it's fine.
Someone birthed their baby, looked at it, went, Galbatorix. Yeah. Like, come on. He was destined to be evil. He was probably bullied.
People name their children Petunia.
Petunia's a better name. You can call her Toonie. That's kind of cute. Like you're tuning a piano. Toonie is better than Galbatorix.
People name their children Blossom. Not even a specific flower. I'm just
like a very simple.
I'm just saying. People name their kids things all the time.
I would rather have my name be Blossom than Galbatorix. Actually, that's a lie. I would love for my name to be Galbatorix. I would revel in it. People would be like, "What's your name?" And I'd be like, Galbatorix. I know, aren't I awesome?
That's why he became emperor.
What year did Aragon come out? Could my name have been Galbatorix if it influenced my parents enough?
It came out when I was a teenager, so yes.
Yeah, what? I know the movie came out in 2006 or 2009. I don't know. One of those. Aragon come out.
The drama of the name announcement.
2002! I could have been named Galbatorix!
Missed opportunity. Galbatorix Ferrenz. It works so well.
He made it up too, so it could be gender neutral.
Oh, so good.
Call your parents during the sprint, complain to them, tell them you would like to change the name.
My name?
Galbatorix Ferrenz.
Fox disagrees with my Toonie. I think it's cute. Or Penny. Petunia. Petty. Pet? No, I don't like that. Mm-mm. I'd be like, oh, my name's Petunia, but I go by Nya. Like the cat. Nya. I think I like got food poisoning. Why am I so like pumped about this? Oh.
I'm getting us a timer.
Okay.
I didn't do anything else, I swear.
That sprint.
I'm not a liar.
I can see your little screen that's actually coming up.
Yeah. That's not where I may or may not have done mischief.
Oh, okay. Oh, pen name Galbatorix Ferrenz. I think there's only. Oh no, you only put one L. Maybe there should be a second L. Maybe that would help. Or an R, like just wait, there is an R. Maybe a 2 R's. It would match my last name then. Galbatorix. Maybe that helps. Or just a random QU somewhere. Galbatorix. That doesn't sound good.
Please check your new spelling.
Ah! Yes! That, with the E, yeah. See, that makes more sense to my brain. Adds more syllables. And I already feel like there are so many in Galbatorix where it's like...
No, it's not spelled any different, or it's not pronounced any differently. That's just the misspelling.
Oh, right. Syllables don't affect spell. Whatever. You know what I mean. You know, like...
I can't be sure of anything you mean at this point.
Anyways, fancy film companies should hire me so I can add extra letters into the characters' names.
This is the only time I cannot support your endeavors. In fact, will endeavor to get
that
you
on
fired.
screen. They'll never know. They'll never know.
My dyslexia will know when I go to fucking Google them.
The credits, but everyone will do it the wrong way.
I will make a formal complaint.
The H's and the Q's. I'll
be like, CB Ferrenz is not disability friendly. She in fact makes.
I am the disability.
I could just imagine young CB going into class with this name and smirking as the teacher is going.
Try it, I dare you.
Alright,
that's my last name anyways, like all throughout my life. Like it's my last name and they just kind of go for friends. And I'm like, no. They're like Ferrenz. And I'm like, why is there extra there? Maybe my last name has shaped my opinions on names overall. And that's why Krista Paolini, whose name I'm probably saying wrong, made the name Galbatorix before I was born. So that I can have these opinions. I don't know.
I thought it was Paolini.
I don't know.
No, it might be. You're like, I'm purposely saying it wrong.
No, we're not the people to know how things are pronounced. I don't know how to pronounce. I would think it's Paolini, but I don't know. There's an A and then an O. It feels Polish. I don't actually think it's Polish. I feel like it should feel Polish because it begins with a P and has an O in it. But I don't know linguistics. I should probably make friends with a linguistics person so that they can fix me. Or I can make them like write an essay on like, oh, the mind of CB Ferrenz linguistics style.
It is Italian. I was right. Paolini.
Oh, that's
I know shit.
Polish.
I am your linguistics friend.
Are you? You have dyslexia. I'm not doubting you, but
yeah, that's why I'm so obsessed with linguistics. Because all right, we'll do the countdown in a second. No, like because I have dyslexia, it was like extremely hard for me to learn to read via the whole sounded out method that they used to try to teach us. So in middle school, I became obsessed with etymology which is like the origin of words and
On the
languages.
reverse
and
of
shit.
that, I haven't been able to spell my entire
Hold on,
fucking
let
life.
me finish, Miss maybe high on food poisoning.
Yeah.
But yeah, so once I started learning the etymology and everything, it actually became a lot easier for me to pronounce things. And because of that, I am now better at figuring out the origin and therefore pronunciation of a lot of words than most of my friends without dyslexia. And
Very
so
nice.
you're like, I think it's Polish. And I'm like, I thought it was Italian. And then I looked it up. I'm
makes
like, yeah,
sense.
it's Italian. Bellini. So
Like rigatoni. That was mean. I don't know. I don't know many Italian words, but I'm bad at spelling. Always have been. Maybe that's why I think Galbatorix should be spelled differently, because it's too straightforward because of the hidden letters or lack thereof.
all right, count us down.
3, 2, 1, go.
Hey, yo.
Storm stuck her head in my milk.
Oh, well,
It's not
So-
mine anymore. I covered it up because I'm pretty bad for adult cats. Drink milk.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So I finished organizing book things because I like to, because some of these books go on hold for like months.
Mhm.
The way I've got my holds going right now, I have 3 on hold for June. Because some of them don't have audiobooks, and I own the physical copies. So I was like, I'll just read this.
Pretend that didn't happen.
But yeah, I'm glad that I have currently I have access to all of the April reads, so I'm hoping to get through those.
Nice.
And then I will binge some of my Ice Planet Barbarian. What up, Rue? Yeah, sorry, I totally forgot to tell you. I'm glad you're blaming YouTube, though. Because PostCon Sam can be responsible for nothing but tasks that I have to finish for my boss.
Except for continuing con things.
That's the stuff I gotta do for my boss. Although I did I don't know, something kicked in this year. So because MTech it's the small con for his weekend and stuff, and so he sends me as much as he can and whatnot. But I got a bunch of mismatched grid wall, and I had a plan for how I was gonna set up my grid wall until I realized that my grid wall was mismatched. And I'm like, oh, I don't know what I'm supposed to do and everything. And I couldn't get a hold of him, and then I finally did, and I'm like, see. It's just my anxiety. I'm stressing and stuff. And I'm like, I'm not sure what you think I should do with these. And he's like, what did you do last year? And I'm like, I don't remember. He's like, I don't remember. But whatever you did last year worked. So take pictures of your booth this year. And I was like, okay, so I'm supposed to do what I did last year then. And he's like, yeah. He's like, it's your booth. He's like, whatever you did works. So do it. And I don't know, just some part of my brain was just like, it's my booth. This is my convention. I know how to run MTech.
Fuck yeah.
I'm like, I got a plan.
I am the chosen one.
And then he sent me the thing with all of our potential booth layouts, and I saw this one, and I'm like, that's the one I was gonna do. That's what I'm doing. And then I did it. And then at some point he gives me a call, and he's like, yeah, I had some vendors send me some photos of the booth, and you look like you don't, he's like, you look really lost. Are you okay? You're not stressing? And he's like, you can put art books on this. I'm like, no, I'm good. I probably just forgot what I was doing in that moment, or I was taking inventory in my head or something. I'm like, but I got a plan. I'm going to put art books on, I'm going to have an art book wall, and then on the other side is oversized for counterweight. And then I was saying these things, and he goes, okay, yeah, plan sounds fine. I'm like, good.
Sure, you're doing great.
Sure, whatever. And I'm like, yeah. So it was just, I don't know. It's my convention now.
As it should be.
Yeah. Jessica started typing things up from my Remarkable to my PC, and I finally have to admit that I need a new ergonomic keyboard. I'm sorry. My other one broke, and now I'm using a basic one that's hurting my. Oh no! Yes, get yourself a new ergonomic one. Take care of your wrist. I approve. Speaking of taking care of things, remember, CB's Save the CB Butt Foundation can be donated to via her Copy Kofi Ko-Fi down below. Just go to her link tree. Hey, some people helped save my butt, so there are people who care about our booties.
I actually don't know how to check my Ko-Fi.
I'll teach her that. Don't worry, y'all.
I could have $1 million in there, and I would have no idea. I mean, I don't.
Oh, hold on. Bella says, do you know any references to make a new fantasy language? I have a future that'll need new languages, and I was hoping to get the references now. I already have some ideas for Alina. So first things I would suggest researching, they're called conlangs. Anyway, it's CONLANGS, Lang, however you want to say that. And like look up those, and I cannot remember the name. The guy who made the Dothraki language has his own YouTube.
Oh.
So I would definitely start with him. Also, like researching, like looking up into the different things that Tolkien himself used and stuff. Because regardless of how I feel about the Tolkienism of fantasy or anything like that, man knew his linguistics
He
like
did.
nobody's business, and his languages are actually super good. So yeah, look up the guy who did the Dothraki language. Like I said, I'm like 99% certain is that guy, and that he has a YouTube channel. And yeah, just look up conlangs in general. And oh fuck, what's the Star Trek one? They speak in memes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Neither do I. I can't remember. Oh, I'm gonna kick myself when I remember. I did nothing, and we failed at figuring out printer stuff. Klingon, yes, thank you. The Klingon language. I did nothing, and we failed at figuring out printer stuff. Might see if school will let me print a couple of things.
Logged in my Ko-Fi. I do not have $1 million in there. How dare Schrodinger's butt fund failed.
Thanks for turning. Use Duo, Rue. Duo. Apparently Disney made a whole language for the first sibling. Yeah! I fucking love Atlantean. And honestly, that's like one of the things that I see here. That's one of the things that sparked my interest in linguistics was Milo and his whole, like, especially when Milo and Kita start like going back and forth with different languages and stuff. Oh, such a good scene. This is Lingo Mama. But yeah, one of the base things, if you want to like, if you don't want to make your whole language, but you just want to like make names or phrases or such, which is much easier, just decide on like your language rules by learning the rules of like real languages and seeing like how they work, how they function, see a couple differences, and then decide like how do you want your language. For example, like syntax. Do you want your languages to like be subject and then adjective, or adjective and then subject? So like in English, do you want it to be big red car, or do you like in
Car big red.
Spanish and French, car big red? So like that's one of the things to decide. Also, no, I lost it. It's fine.
She's purring again.
Oh, I swim pretty good. I swim pretty good. I swim pretty good. Pretty girl. I swim. Have you ever seen Atlantis: The Lost Empire, the Disney movie? Okay, I just
Not a long time, but yeah, I know what scene you're talking about.
I love Milo. He's so great.
I've not watched it in a long time, but I do remember very much like it, and I remember a lot of the plot.
He is also quintessential 2000s male lead design.
He is.
Like him and Jim Hawkings look so much alike.
Yeah, he's the same Treasure Planet guy.
They just have different vibes. Well, yeah, no, like they look very similar, but they do have like different vibes. Jim also has a rat tail.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then who is the other one? There's another space one that Milo looks like. I cannot remember it. Titan AI?
I don't know. But I know the artist or one of the artists.
Don't tell me. You shouldn't have told me, but you did. And I didn't want to know. And now I'm telling you, you don't want to know. I love that movie.
One of the artists for Treasure Planet designed another thing, and it's just like copy paste. The characters look so similar. Just the art style is it's what it is.
I don't mind when they do that.
I'm here for it, but it's very funny.
I'm perfectly fine. A lot of manga artists do that too, and I love it because it's like, for me, I look at it and I'm like, oh, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna like this because I like their other work.
I mean, but I feel like the only example I have of that in my head is like Yu Yu Hakusho and Hunter x Hunter, and those I've only seen the animes though, and they're different, and they were made like a
No.
while apart.
I'll find you some examples later, but no, literally, like some of the manga artists, they just use the same design.
For some web comics, I've noticed it when like the same studio makes them. I'm like, this is the main character looks exactly the same.
So on Manta,
but like
on Manta, my sister and I started reading these two webtoons. Right, we were reading two different webtoons on Manta, and I was telling her about the one I was reading, and she was telling me about the one she was reading, and we realized it had some very similar characters. And then, like, when we started reading each other's, they were by the same author / artist. And it was just about, like, there were 3 sisters, right? And one story was basically about one sister, and the other story was about another sister. But they weren't contuitive to each other, because one was, like, about time traveling, and the other one was and had no time traveling shenanigans. And so she straight up just was like, kind
of living for that though. Kind of like the connected but not actually connected, but it's like alternate universe.
Yeah, I think, oh my gosh, what's the other one? Fairy Tales artist does borrow some designs from their other work, but I can't remember.
Anastasia male lead. Mm-hmm. So pretty.
They broke it. They didn't want, so Don Bluth didn't want the lead in Anastasia to look too handsome, so they broke his nose. That's why his nose looks weird. And the female workers were like, he's just more handsome now. They were like, we don't know what to do. So
I didn't even know they broke his nose. I didn't even know this.
Yeah, if you look, his nose is like, he's got a crooked nose. Yeah. So basically you're saying that creating languages is going to be just as much work as the act of creating, right? Yes.
Part of the book.
That's how conlongs work. Rave Master.
I totally do like the cheating out, ducking out, whatever. For my languages in books, when I have people speak another language, I just go in another language. They say something.
100% do that. Like they started speaking in a language the MC didn't know, and it sounded like this and this and that.
It says a curse in Elven or whatever. I don't know what the curse is.
Yeah.
You don't know what the curse is, but we all know what a curse in Elven vibes are.
Yeah, if the conlong isn't going to be like super important, I wouldn't necessarily go through the work of creating a whole one. That's also why I said you can also just do a couple phrases, or even just make up one curse word and stuff. Sorry, I'm trying to see.
I am writing my Fae script, and I'm like, I have my main character like drops the F-bomb because she's like in her 20s and she's from our world, and she keeps being presented weird fucking things, so she goes, what the fuck? And at one point the kid goes, what the fuck? She's like, don't say that, like the 10-year-old.
Do as I say, not as I hate when people say that though. It's like if you're not good, if you're not gonna let the kid do it, don't do it yourself.
Yeah, she doesn't yell at him. But I was like, I was considering having her yell at him, and I'm like, nah, she wouldn't. Her go like, holy shit and stuff, and I'm like, is she like, people say these things in response to like surprising things happening in the script a lot. But anyway, like, what the fuck else are you supposed to respond when something really fucking weird happens? Like, wow. Like, nah. I was like, if I took this down to a PG-13 rating and like had to take out all of the F-bombs except one, I'm keeping the one where the kid drops the F-bomb. Because I just think it's the funniest.
I love that. I would keep that one too.
Thank you. I
have the Rave Master theme song stuck in my head now. Ruth.
I don't know what that is.
Carrot Nose Dog. Rave Master is a show that was on before your birth.
Okay.
I don't think the anime was ever finished,
Ooh.
But part of the theme song, like it was one of those animes that had a mascot character that you had no idea what the fuck it was. It basically just looked like a little snowman thing with a carrot nose and legs.
Okay.
And in the theme song, I forgot most of the theme song, but part of it goes with his carrot nose dog. Like,
Okay.
I hate the shut up, Sam. No. You're the ones showing your age, bringing up Rave Master. Something crazy happened to her response. Nope.
Yeah. They're like, this is my life now, I guess. I'm having her have that progression of like, holy shit, what the fuck? Like scared to just surprised to, okay, yeah. All right, well, what else would happen now?
Yeah.
This movie is also so fucking long. I'm at an hour. And I'm like,
Sorry.
maybe halfway. I'm
Yeah,
going to have to be halfway.
allowed
The limit for this the assignment is 120 pages. But like
fantasy movies, like books, are allowed
I
to be.
know! I'm like, that's not fair. The person writing like the cute slice of life, like family reunion script.
They don't have as much world to
epic
establish.
adventure romance are two different vibes.
Accepted. Riri, you missed it earlier. CB was trying to figure out if she was young enough that she could have been named Galbatorix based on when Aragon was published, and she is
published like 8 months before I was born. Could be named Galbatorix.
So now she's got to call her parents and bitch about that.
Yeah. I mean, my dad would probably be like, I would rather name you insert the other fictional character there of my name would probably more likely have been like Gladriel than Galbatorix, which another G name right there.
That's a good name.
It is a good name. What do I go by?
I mean Galadriel. It's a G name.
I know, but it's not a Gal name.
Galadriel.
Galadriel. G, not Ga. I don't know. Do we have to say it with a New Zealand accent or a British accent?
I don't have one.
Like Tolkien. Or the fact that I'm younger than Aragon? Is that fucking you up, bro? Sorry.
She enjoys the superpower.
I do. I think it's kind of funny. Gelfling.
Bro, okay, so everybody, all right. Here's the thing. I hate Muppets. Like, in general. I just don't like the puppets. They always have as a child. Therefore, I don't particularly I don't find them unnerving. I just think they're hideous. And therefore I'm disinterested in their designs.
Okay.
But and I don't know. I had a love-hate relationship with the Dark Crystal because like my dad really liked the Dark Crystal and I liked watching things with my dad. So it was like the only Muppet thing that I would tolerate.
My dad loves Muppets.
My husband had never seen the Dark Crystal movie, right? Okay. But he was really interested in the Dark Crystal TV show. So we're watching the TV show. And I've seen the movie, right? Well,
I have too, but like before I had consciousness as a human being.
Yeah. But like there are these two creatures in the TV show that, right? I'm like, those spider things don't exist in the movie. And I knew the TV show like took place before the movie. I'm like, there's no way this thing can have a happy ending because I know the backstory of the movie. So I'm like, and there's this one, there's like these spider things. And I'm like, I don't remember those in the movie. And then there's also this little race of people who are like enslaved. And I'm like, yeah, I don't remember them in the movie either. And at some point I was like, are they gonna graft them together? What? It was terrible because Chris really, really loved the little enslaved people. He like really loved. He got so attached.
I love the little enslaved people. It's
his face and
remember going, they're gonna get grafted. Like, I don't want to tell him, but I want to warn him because, like, I was like 90% sure that
What do you mean
that's what
grafted
was
together?
I mean, they took their corpses and they grafted them. I think, yeah, they grafted the thingies into the spider things.
Oh,
Like, physically grafted them together.
within
Grafted
like the plot?
Yeah.
Oh,
You, like, see it at, like, the end, and that's why they don't exist in the future. Because they experimented on them and created the monster things that the Gelfling deals with in the future. It's horrifying. It's horrifying. And Chris was emotionally scarred by this. He was so mad at me. I was like, I didn't know that.
I feel like I have to rewatch Dark Crystal because I haven't watched it in over a decade.
Please. Oh, God, fuck, I hated that motherfucker. I wanted him to be burned to death. And I was so mad he survived. My mom actually worked at Disney when the Muppets had their own studio and loved it. Also, I tried getting through the Dark Crystal and couldn't. It's a really good show. I will say that. Like, I just don't like Muppets, but it's actually really good. Also, I was baffled and upset that they didn't make a season 2 for the Dark Crystal TV series because they're like, oh, but the production like costs too much. And I'm like, I am certain most of your production cost was the Muppets, and you've already made them.
Yeah.
But okay.
My bangs are Edward Elric level. That matters a lot to me.
They're also vaguely Edward Elric shaped. Hold on. The dark.
It only takes them like being hella greasy. I think I watched it when I was really young, and I can't remember if I was terrified of it or my family expected me to be terrified of it, and I wasn't. I remember Labyrinth. Definitely watching the Labyrinth, people thought I was going to be terrified, and I was like, this is cool, but I didn't really grasp what was going on for most of it. There were like little jump scares, I think, that scared me, but like overall, I wasn't old enough to understand what was going on. Like, I was below 6.
The Grunox. Sorry, I'm like trying to figure out the things. Okay. So, if you look it up,
okay,
the Grunox, which I will link. So, these little guys, these sad little guys.
cute DM to me.
Yeah. No, because my thing just started giving me a loading. Hold on.
Fox has texted me no in all caps like 7 minutes ago. David Bowie Labyrinth. I haven't seen Pan's Labyrinth. When it came out, I was too young for it. The fact that I'm younger than Aragon. I didn't realize I was younger than Aragon. Which makes sense. I don't remember a time in my life where Aragon didn't exist because there hasn't been a time in my life where Aragon didn't exist. But I just for some reason feel like it came out when I was like 6. The movie came out, I think it came out in 2006, which I thought it came out after I read the books. Which obviously isn't true, because I would have been 3. But yeah. I remember reading the books. I was like really into the books. I didn't finish all the books, but then I watched the movie and I was like really angry, and that was my like first experience with adaptation. That was not great.
All right, so there's the Grunox, and then there's the Arachni spitters, because there's like different subspecies of Arachum, right? And they were graphed together to create the Garthum.
which I like I said, I saw the movie, which the new movie, or when I was younger, and the movie takes place, or well, okay. The TV series is a prequel to the movie. So the TV series takes place way before and is supposed to play out the events of the history that the Gelflings are taught in the movie, which is why I was like, this isn't gonna be a happy thing. so like I saw the Grunoks and the Spitters, and I was like, I don't recognize either of them or anything. And then like I started looking at them, and I was like, they remind me of the Carthums. And then sure, Sketek, I think, is the motherfucker. And he graphed them together, and my poor husband was emotionally scarred.
Yeah.
It probably didn't do well enough. No, it did really well. Like, their ratings were great. They literally said the only reason they didn't do season 2 was because the production cost was too much. And like I said, most of that production cost was probably the puppets.
I mean, what if it's sets and stuff as well?
Actually, well, all right. So I don't know about their viewers in general, but most of the people I knew had never seen the movie. Like, I was like one of the only people I knew who'd seen it. Y'all are talking about Labyrinth. Pams or Bowie. Making me proud, Gelfling. My favorite character was the Dog Knight.
I'm scarring
Fox
more with my existence. I'm sorry, Fox. I can't control when I was born. I did not exist for the Lord of the Rings movies. No. They were pre my existence. I know, because they are like some of the first things I've ever watched. Like that was like the childhood like movies, is like the Sam Raimi films, like Spider-Man.
So okay, look, going to conventions will also like show you your age, because so I've got this 90s anime tank top, right?
Yeah. Vintage.
No, I don't. Well, yeah, it kind of looks vintage. But it's got like a 3x3 square with different characters from 90s stuff, and it's kind of cute because they're like each square they're posed in a certain way to create a heart. Like Bash is in the middle top with his guns like this to create the point of the heart. Yeah. And then it's Sailor Moon, Vash, and Yusuke up top, right? So it's like
that's a lineup.
This is my row. That's my fucking row. But yeah, so this guy he recognized Sailor Moon, and then he recognized Goku. And he was like, "Who's that in the middle?" I'm like, "Oh, that's a guy from Slam Dunk." It's like a super niche 90s
okay, so it is what
manga anime. So actually, I think the anime might even be from the 80s. I don't know. All I know is it's old, and very few people I've met know of it. Most people think it's Kuwabara in a basketball outfit, and I'm like, no, that's the guy from Slam Dunk.
On a very just second Yu Hakusho character on there.
Right? And then, of course, there's Bash. And he was like, he knew the girl in the middle was from Evangelion, which I'm like, fair. And then, but he didn't know the bottom one. And he's like, who's the bottom one? I'm like, oh, that's San from Princess Mononoke. And then he didn't know Yusuke, but he knew he was from Yu Yu Hakusho. So I was like, okay, that's fine. And then, oh, I forgot who's right here. But he knew who was right here. And then, like, right below them is, he was like, oh, I don't know her. I'm like, that's Ranma from Ranma 1/2. He's like, what's Ranma 1/2? And I'm like, well, first that's a he. And I was like, secondly, although he does fall into a like cursed pond, and I think every time he gets splashed with water, he goes from being male to female to male
it's
to
like
female.
H2O.
His dad fell into a different cursed pond, and he turns into a panda.
Oh.
Where is anime shirt? If you want,
I would prefer the power to turn into a panda or a boy at will.
It's not at will.
Or
cold water turns him into a girl. Hot water turns him back. So every time you went swimming, you would turn into a boy, and then you'd go shower and you'd be a girl again.
I can live with that. Yeah, I'd be chill with that.
good. That's fine.
Do you know how uncomfortable bikinis are? It'd be so much easier just like throw on a pair of shorts, a t-shirt, walk into the water, turn into a boy, whip off my t-shirt. Woo!
I'd keep the t-shirt on. What if like I get splashed with hot water while I'm swimming?
Then I'd go like this and walk out.
Oh, hold on.
Or move over slightly to a colder part of the water.
Hey, Rue, you know, cassette tapes were outdated by the time CB was born.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's ever owned. Have you owned a cassette tape? She's never owned a VHS.
How they work. I know. I conceptually kind of not really know how they work. If someone was like, here's a cassette tape, handle this, like use it, I'd be like, I think I might. I do. Okay, they're the boxes, right?
One of
The
my
box boxes
employees / coworkers texted
that are movies. I have used them. My grandpa had one growing up, and like my whole life, which we like pushed in, and then you had to rewind it. It was always really annoying. Yeah.
There's this TikTok or YouTube short, I don't know, either way, it's this short video that I think really sums up the vast difference in just millennials and Gen Z really well, despite like how little time there actually is between our generations. A mom had her two sons stand on either side of a door, and she was like, okay, so like use your hands to mime these actions, right? And she's like rewind a video, and the millennial was like doing the like turning method, and the younger one was like pressing a button,
The
right?
turning method.
Yeah, you can rewind.
It was just a button on my grandpa's TV. Maybe
Yeah, you can also, if you're doing it with your hand though, you just turn it. It's mostly for like
I would be afraid of breaking it. Is that what like the white bit is for? That has like the edges? Oh.
That's the tape. You just twist it. Yeah. But anyway, so yeah. So that's like how they showed the difference between one there. And then it was also like, how do you like pick up a phone? And like the millennial and the...
Oh, I did see that one. I would go boop.
Yeah. And I was like, how do you hang up a phone? The millennial did that. The other kid like pressed the button. And it was just like a bunch of different things like, yeah. Oh, like roll down a window. Millennials. And I was telling Tabby about this, and like so my kids were like, yeah, my kid was like right beside me, and like my youngest goes, why would you do that to roll down a car window? And my sister and I were just like, be grateful you never need to know.
A comedic beat in like sitcoms, they'll be like rolling down the window very slowly, or up slowly. Mostly down. No, up. I think is.
Bro, that's an arm workout right there. Like,
just a comedic beat and stuff, not like in old cars.
Yeah.
Not in actual. Did the Impala in Supernatural? What kind of?
No, I think he had the buttons.
Automatic, yeah.
Yeah, automatic. I forgot the word for it. I'm 23, but I've seen and held a floppy disk. My dad owned a few, so we
I have it. About them. I'm 21.
Yeah, like you know, to be clear, it's stuff. I never assume anybody from younger generations doesn't know anything about this stuff. I think it's fair to assume. I think it's unfair to assume that they do.
Yeah.
And to like treat them like they're lesser if they don't. I just think it's really interesting to see these stark contrasts, because like literally millennials were the transitional generation from analog to digital.
I feel like an elder Gen Z and a younger Gen Z have like a bigger gap than like me at a solid mid Gen Z and like a millennial. Because I remember either me using it or like people referencing using it as I was young versus like even a younger Gen Z. Like my little brother, like would be hard pressed
Is
for.
your little brother Gen Z or is he Gen Alpha?
I think he's like the real at low end of Gen Z. He's 16. He's born
Okay.
7.
Because he's not that much older than my oldest, and my oldest is very firmly alpha.
I mean, Ben's 16.
And my oldest will be 13.
That's weird in my brain. I mean, like developmentally.
You've never put that together before, have you? There's only 3 years apart between.
Yeah, I have not. I mean, there's 5 years apart between me and my little brother, so
yeah,
that's still Wait.
So he's like,
there's only a 1 year age difference, or 1 year more between me and your eldest than my brothers.
When does Gen Alpha start? Gen Alpha, the generation of children Y, or of Generation Y. I always forget I'm Gen Y because we're called millennials.
Oh yeah, right. I was like, but you're a millennial.
It says 2010 to 2024. So yeah, your brother is he's just barely a Gen Zer. Okay. Yeah.
So he would
my oldest is like the start of his generation. Cool.
Yeah. So he's the elder Gen Alpha.
He'll be an elder alpha. All 3 of them will be actually. They're elder alpha.
My older brother's 3 years older than me, so he was born in 2000. And then
I'm a middle millennial.
My little brother's 2007. But I'm beginning of 2003. My little brother's the end of 2007.
Like I was saying, millennials are the transitional generation from analog to digital, and then like older Gen Zers. I feel like younger millennials and older Gen Zers don't the term zillennial I think actually does work really well for them, because they're the transition generation of the transition generation.
Seriously though.
So yeah, and then there's
younger millennials who are more competitive towards Gen Z than the majority of millennials. Like the younger ones are like,
okay, well, all right. I feel like there are some older millennials. I actually think it's more an older millennial and an older Gen Z issue. Because I feel like younger millennials don't really know if they're a millennial or a Gen Zer. And a lot of older Gen Zers don't really know if they're a millennial or a Gen Zer. So they're like something. So I feel like they're honestly the most chill. But then like that step right below the oldest of the Gen Zers, they get real like sassy and stuff. And then it's the older of the millennials that like weren't able to grow up with as much mental health awareness.
An example of that would be like
they get real press.
Like Gen Zers don't remember, and then it's like silly bands or flip phones, and it's like, we did that too. Like that was a thing for a while.
Oh, the whole mid part versus side part things where millennials are like, you can pry our side. Which one was it? Our side parts. Millennials are like, you can pry our side parts from our cold, dead hands. But then like other millennials were just like, what do I look like with a mid part? And then they did it and they were like, never again. Nope. Like my head was not shaped for that.
Sometimes a lot of the time when people switch from their side part to a mid part, they do it with dry hair. And then they're like, this looks so silly. Of course it fucking looks silly. Your hair is dry. It's okay. Storm position.
Also consider hospitals didn't start shape training infant heads until Gen Z.
Yeah, that makes no sense. What the fuck is shape training? Other than like my little cousin was in a helmet for a while.
Yes, funny. That's what it is. So when babies are born, they're slightly cone-headed. Like your head is shaped a little weird because you were pushed out the birth canal, right? Mm-hmm. And so like also depending on how your baby sleeps, if your baby sleeps, because your skull is soft when you're a baby, so depending on how you sleep, your skull can harden into a different shape.
I know.
Millennials, we didn't have those helmets, and also parents weren't really told, alternate what side of the
I have
head
to
you're
text
being.
my parents to know if they like flipped me
Like-
like a pancake when I was a baby.
But like when my kids were born and stuff, one of the things that their pediatricians checked was their head shape. Every time they went in, they would check their head shape, and they would be like, "Okay, yeah, they don't really need a training helmet." And I was like, "They don't need a what?" And they're like, "Yeah, to make sure that their skull grows round and hardens round." And I'm like, "Huh." So I think also part of it might be that a lot of millennial skulls just aren't shaped the same way as younger generation skulls. So they may just legitimately not look as good with a mid part.
Which is fair, but what I'm talking about is when someone's like has a mid part and their hair is, or a side part, the hair is dry, and then they flip it over and it like sticks up in the air, and they're like, "See?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you're." It's like, "Oh my god, my hair's sticking up in the air. Who could have seen this?" And it's like, it's because it's used to going on the side. That's how it dried. It's fine. I'm like strangely past this.
I don't style my hair wet, so I style it dry. My hair just does what it wants.
Okay. I feel like I need like a wig demonstration or wet hair.
Do you know landlines or telephone booths?
We had. I don't think our phone connected to like the wall when I was a little kid. But I know what it is. I know what both of those are.
She knows of them. She has never used them.
Yeah.
There's now a trend on TikTok where people
had like
are
a
talking
house
about
phone. I'm not sure if it plugged into the wall. My dad's, for a lot of stuff, my dad's also like a tech, like really into tech, like not like a tech bro, but he's like, he thinks it's really cool. And he did like, he was a computer guy when, like, before he became a stay-at-home dad, before he became a teacher. So when he was a stay-at-home, before that, he literally like he learned a lot about like cutting edge tech, but like cutting edge tech as in the fact that we moved to wireless phones or not flip phones. Are you doing the hair thing now?
Well, all right. So I actually have a mid part with the exception of my bangs.
Yes.
So, yeah.
That's cute.
Yes, but
I feel like people who are like, it like side part, middle part looks better. I'm like, it depends on the vibe you're going for that day.
see, for me, I have a cowlick, so my hair just kind of poofs up better that way. See? But also, if you look at the way my hair grows, it grows that way no matter what I do because I have a cowlick.
I mean, I do too. I just go against my cowlick a lot of the time. But
what happened if I went against mine? It gets flatter. It just went into my skull. Where did it go?
So my hair sticks. This is blow dried, and greasy as hell. It goes up in different directions, but it's not as much as a cowlick. It's just one side of my bangs wants to go floofy most of the time. One wants to go straight. Like one wants to curl more than the other. I don't know why. I probably at one point should get like wanting to get my curls done properly, like a proper curl treatment. Like I have curls, like this is blown out, and been in a ponytail all day. But
I don't think you need your hair wet to do a part, but you do need to know how to part your hair.
Yeah. But a lot of these people, I think, it's like their hair isn't relaxed when it's going into this position. So it's like when you take a hair tie out, like you're going to have that dent in your hair.
Yeah, but you can undo the dent.
You're basically in an abyss right now.
Yeah, I don't look nice with the side part anyway.
I think you always look nice.
Oh, why thank you.
All right, Bella goes, there's now a trend on TikTok where people are talking about how we need phones that stay at the house, like a house phone that is a separate number, and all the older generations reacting to it. That is a bit rough. That is not our finest moment.
Okay, look, you can't really blame them. Most of them haven't grown up with a landline. They're just legitimately like.
I'm like, we had house phones. Like that was a thing until like 10 years ago, right?
Yeah.
15 years ago?
Like, I mean, my mom still has hers.
Yeah. My grandparents theirs.
Like my mom has her landline. It's same phone
I have-
number since I was
have-
5 years old.
I have the
I
one
know that number by
memorized
heart.
from my childhood home. Like I could call it right now. Obviously, it
Yeah.
won't connect. Or
So could
it'll
I,
plug in
when we
for-
like, when I go to a gas station or something and they're like, "Do you have a rewards card?" I'll be like, and I'll give them my mom's home number. And then
my
they're
God.
like, "Oh yes, you have
was
one." And
like-
I'm like,
I was somewhere recently where like, do you have a rewards card? And I went through my parents' numbers. It didn't work. And I went to my childhood house phone number, and it worked. I'm like, I don't think that phone number is in service anymore, but it worked, and I remembered it, and I was so proud of myself. And Bella said something about hair. Actually, about your hair, the reason it sticks up when you change the part is because your hair gets used to growing a certain way. When you change it, that's why the roots start. Yeah. Growing, but I think also part of it is the way it dries.
I think
but
there's a lot of factors
Yeah.
to it. My hair can do, like, once my hair's dry, you can do whatever you want to my hair, and it's either like, if it's in a good mood, it'll do whatever you want it to, and if it's in a bad mood, you're not getting it to do whatever.
Oh my God.
But my cowlick is literally, I have like cowlicks, you have absolutely no control over those motherfuckers. They're gonna grow in the same pattern no matter what you do to them. So you either work with it, or I mean, you work with it however you work with it. CB works against it, gives her added volume. I work with mine, gives mine added volume. So my cousin has a cowlick right here, and then also one right here. So when he was like growing out his hair back there, it's like,
Oof. My natural
it's yours, but in the back.
you can kind of see it like right here. There's just random.
I
is
have
over here.
uncontrollable and unruly wavy hair
Me too.
that is also thick, apparently. I can teach you how to sort of control. There are hair routines you can do. Chris and I have gotten real into them. There was also a TikTok challenge where younger people were writing their names without lifting the pen. So basically, they rediscovered cursive. I kind of like that, though. I think that's cute.
I think that's cute too. Plus, like at least I was taught cursive. Maybe not in some school systems. Maybe not nowadays.
My kids aren't being taught cursive now, but they want to learn, and so I'm teaching my youngest cursive.
I mean, I understand like
cursive.
Not teaching cursive anymore. Like it
should still be taught. Like you should still be taught to read it regardless, because cursive is still used. So, but not write it. I get that.
Yeah, I can understand that, or it being like an art class type thing.
Cursive's the new Latin.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. Let's count it down. I really have to pee.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hi.
Hey yo. So how did everybody do?
Read more. There's some cool world building happening.
Nice.
And a fan fiction.
Artemis, I'm afraid I'm going to have to disturb my darling. She got cozy on my shirt. I went and I fetched it.
Oh, your shirt?
Yeah. I think I can get it all in the shot.
Yeah.
For real.
Who's in the center?
That is, she's from Evangelion Genesis. No, Neon Evangelion. That one.
I've heard of that.
I forget her name. Asuka? I think.
Ooh.
I don't know. Somebody can.
Her nose is cold.
Jessica said, I just wrote such a horrid and yet I feel accurate way for the god of love in this to make someone fall in love. I
Fall
am
out of
so
love.
intrigued.
Oof.
Oh, out of love. I'm so intrigued. Yeah, Asuka.
Hey. Boop.
Good brain. I'll hold it up again once Rue shows his face in the thing.
Chat.
That's what it was. What did I do? Well, I went to the bathroom and then I talked to my husband before he went to bed. I remembered that somebody had given me this really cute lanyard, like ID lanyard.
Mm-hmm.
And see, we had already gotten the boys their own like cute lanyards because we found a Nightmare Before Christmas one, and our oldest really loves Jack Skellington. And then our middle, I think it's a Kirby one. Either way, we saw one that like spoke to us for him, but we hadn't found one for our youngest yet. And one of my fellow vendors, they got a shipment of things they didn't order, or like they got their shipment that they did order, but then they discovered they also got these like lanyards, and they're like, wasn't part of my order. So they were just like, does anybody want one? And I saw them and they're like, these really cute like red ones with like these little white kitties and stuff. And I was like, I think my youngest would like that. And I showed it to
definitely.
her. She went wild.
Yeah, I'm like, I feel like your youngest would like that.
Especially since like it's kind of well, at least to lanyard things I've seen, ID holders, it like pulls up. And then she's like, it's like a little cutting board. She's like, can I cut with it? And I'm like, no, you put your ID in it.
No.
When they give you love, it's planting a seed. If that love dies, the plant rots and turns into a stone clinging to the person. Oh, to make them fall out of love, the god has to clip away at it slowly.
Well.
I was working on Alina and making a bunch of edits because, of course, a reread of what I previously edited turns into an edit as well. That's fair.
When I'm an adult with money, remind me to get a couch that I can stretch out on with the cat. Because currently, the couch's edge is like right here. This is. I'm just.
You just need a couch nest, like I got.
Yes.
Which is mildly inconvenient to get out of, but it's fine.
Not sure how well that would fit in the apartment I'm planning on living in during my life. I can just get a big apartment.
Get a really big studio apartment, then you can design it however.
Yeah.
The rooms are where you put them, in the shape.
I like the concept of rooms, of walls within my apartment.
Yeah.
But honestly,
I didn't say you didn't. No, I'm saying like
don't really have walls. That's
no
the thing.
No, you were saying the apartment you plan to live in, like your future apartment. So I was saying, yeah, get a big studio apartment,
Yeah.
then you can put the rooms where you want them, in the shape you want them. I wasn't insulting your current apartment.
Oh no.
I was helping you plan for the future.
Okay.
All right, but we are at 3 hours.
Yeah,
so.
I'm fucking tired. If you can't tell.
Right. Say goodnight, CB.
Good night, CB.
I knew you were going to do that. And then this is me and where you can find me. You can catch us in the Discord. It's only $1 a month at the Coffee Ko-Fi down below. We do lots of working shows at random points of the day. You can host your own working show. Really, it's just, you know,
Yeah,
like
you can.
people like hanging out.
Or you can join
And
ours.
whose turn is it to host Wednesday? Me?
Yours.
Okay, yeah. So Whip Wednesday will be on my channel, 1 to 4.
Hey, Butter
Central.
matches your stream.
It does. And we'll catch y'all then. Bye.